Business Brain, episode 515, Out of My Brain on the Train on Casual Friday, January 12th, 2024. Greetings, folks, and welcome back to Business Brain, or welcome to Business Brain if it's your first time here. We're the show where we take an idea or three, we dissect it, we analyze it, we crunch it, we pull it apart, we put it back together so that each and every one of us can tune our business brains every single time we get together. Sponsors for this episode include Shopify.com/businessbrain, where you're going to go and sign up for a $1 per month trial, and Squared Away at GoSquaredAway.com. Awesome service that employs and empowers highly educated military spouses to become your trusted remote executive assistants, all working on U.S. hours. We'll talk more in depth about each of those in a few minutes. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And I'm still out here in Lafayette, California, Dave. I've been wearing the same jacket for the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, same. That's right. Yep. We should just have episode uniforms.
Yeah, episode uniforms. That's right. I like
That's right. You could look at Steve Jobs on stage and,
of course,
never by quick glance, you wouldn't necessarily know which time it was, or if it was multiple different times.
Jeez. Yeah, I like that.
Yep.
Hey, I'm looking forward to today's show because we're going to talk about avoiding the news. You have a story about that, which
I do.
Fascinating.
When I'm in the car, I generally listen to podcasts, spoken word stuff. If I need to listen to music, I will, but for whatever reason in the car is not usually my music listening time. It just becomes like spoken word stuff. And especially on the way home from gigs, because that's the last time I want to hear music after playing for hours and hours. So when I'm driving locally around town, going to the post office or my chiropractor or whatever, kind of those, short little trips, grocery store, whatever, I had it in my head that I had to listen to something that would fit into the time period of that drive. Therefore, I, for whatever reason, defaulted to daily news programming, like the New York Times, the Daily. I mean, every network's got one. And so it just became a habit. And,
sure,
I'm not out every day, so I wouldn't listen to every episode of any given program. I would just kind of look and be like, oh, that topic looks interesting. I'd listen. But invariably, it was infusing my brain with all the things that are going on in the news. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I will say that I went years, even while we were running Mac Observer, without really paying attention to the news in that it was not a habit. I am aware of the things that are going on in the world, like things filter in without me needing to go and pull the news into my brain, right?
Yeah,
so
sure.
I would learn the things I needed to learn and certainly could research stuff if something piqued my interest or seemed important. But I wasn't just intentionally shoving news into my head. And that habit changed without really a whole lot of intention on my part in terms of the subject matter. It was like, well, the best thing to listen to is short form stuff, daily news. There you go. Sure, why not? And that changed about a month ago. Geddy Lee, the bass player and singer from the band Rush, put out his memoir, a book that he calls My Efffin Life. And I bought the book and I was about to start reading it. And then I thought to look, and sure enough, there is an audiobook. No great surprise. It's him reading it. And I thought, well, I want to hear him tell these stories. I'm a huge fan of the band. Like, I want to hear it in his voice. And it's paid off, right? Yeah, it's great. And I had a couple of long car rides, hour and a half long car rides the first week that I'd listened to this, which was a great way to get started. But it's, 16 hours of audio or something. And so that got me going and certainly got me invested. And now it's the thing that I listen to when I'm in the car. I might only listen to 10, 15 minutes of it at a shot, but that's fine. And what I've learned from this is something that I know many of you who listen to podcasts already know, and you're shaking your head at me. You don't need to start and finish the episode when you start and finish any one given drive. You can pop in and out of an episode or other long form content like an audiobook as you wish. That's part of the beauty of podcasts. And I know I've preached this but I've never quite practiced it until recently. Yeah. And look, this show we've intentionally made into those same bite-sized chunks, and it's worked out well for this show. But, I do Gig Gab, which is an hour long, and Mac Geek Gab, which is like an hour and a half. And I know people pop in and out. We get notes that are like, well, I haven't finished the episode yet, but I wanted to comment on this one thing, which is totally fine. It's worked out great for almost 19 years. This not having the news intentionally shoved into my brain by me has been a game changer. I'm fairly aware of what's going on in the world. It's not like I've completely lost touch, right? You can't avoid it, but not having it be just, it is intentional when I consume news as opposed to it just being habitual. Yeah. And that, I think, is a really important thing. And it served me well for a very long time, and it is again serving me well. But I probably went 2 or 3 years here where I was just habitually filling my brain with not even news that junk I wanted to seek out, but just like, what's the best of these 5 things that I have as an option?
Right.
I guess I'll pick the third one. Sure. Yeah.
Much better to be in charge of your own content and what you take in. And that's a habit that I want to definitely dive into that and a couple other habits in the second part of the show. I think it's definitely worth talking about.
All right, look, when we're running our businesses, it often feels like there's never enough time to tackle all the priorities, right? Like managing your inbox and schedule. Like for me, that can take a lot of time out of my day. And then balancing just professional and personal life can be difficult. The little things pile up, right? Even simple tasks can be super distracting from the important work. Things like coordinating travel or planning an event or scheduling guests for a podcast is always more complicated than I expect. And that's why I'm so excited to talk about our sponsor, Squared Away. It's brilliant. Squared Away empowers highly educated military spouses to become your trusted remote executive assistants. I love this idea. How brilliant is this, right? Military spouses, they've got that drive and dedication. It's a fantastic talent pool. Squared Away assistants specialize in giving you your time back to focus on what really matters. So whether you need administrative support for your team, an extra hand with a new project, or help with even personal priorities, Squared Away assistants anticipate your needs and let you focus on your high-return tasks. They deliver top-notch work at a fraction of the cost of a full-time employee. Squared Away teammates operate in all U.S. time zones and work as W-2 employees, not contractors. And the sky's the limit. Squared Away offers custom plans to give you exactly the support your business needs to thrive. I highly recommend checking out Squared Away today. See how they can help you. Just go to GoSquaredAway.com. That's GoSquaredAway.com. GoSquaredAway.com. And our thanks to Squared Away for sponsoring this episode. About 6 years ago, I got involved with this new business. I was brought in to help make sure the money was flowing in the right direction and to kind of keep things on track. And over time, responsibilities expand. One day, we were in a staff meeting. I was there with my 2 partners, and we decided we should add merch to one of the things that we offer, for our users. And it was obvious that it fell to me to figure this out. And it was the farthest thing from my mind. When I woke up that day, I had no idea what to do. But by the end of that day, we were selling mugs and T-shirts and, merch in our store so easily, all because I used our sponsor, Shopify. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business, from the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage. Yep, they manage online and in person, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify is there to help you grow. So whether you're selling shipping supplies or promoting productivity programs, hey, Shopify helps you sell everywhere, from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. And you can sell more with less effort now thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. No matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. And I love this about Shopify. All of my friends that use Shopify have similar stories to mine. It's fantastic because businesses that grow with Shopify. Because you're a Business Brain listener, sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/businessbrain. All lowercase. Go to shopify.com/businessbrain now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/businessbrain. And our thanks to Shopify for sponsoring this episode. So Shannon, when I shared with you my habit changing, unintentional habit changing of my news consumption or my content consumption for this episode, it resonated with you and it reminded you of other habits we might be able to change.
Yeah, I want to talk about this news habit too. One of my follows on the X platform is Steve, and his account name is Millionaire Habits, which I think is great. And I love his handle, Steve on Speed. But he was posting, this kind of a laundry list of ways to make money, and his concept is millionaire habits, of course.
Sure. That's a great T-shirt thing. So
habits.
Yeah, it's good brand.
Right there. And so one of them that I really like and resonated with me when you mentioned the news is he posted, "Very few rich people are addicted to the news. The news is designed to make us upset, angry, fearful. None of these emotions help us to build wealth. Rich people are too busy getting rich to worry about the day's manufactured drama." And I love that. I think it's
true. Yeah.
And, because
it is. I mean, there is news out there that's important to be aware of as a functional member of society.
Yes.
But, his term addicted, my term earlier, a habit, they are not the same thing, but they certainly resemble one another. They look the same. I was able to break this habit very easily by simply having something else that I wanted to listen to that I was willing to break my habit for. That's all it really was. And now I've queued up a bunch of things that I'm looking forward to, long form stuff that I've missed out on.
It's really important. I do the same thing. So I thought I'd jump into a few of these other habits that I like. And one of them is that most millionaires are self-made. Yes, we all get help, but the vast majority don't inherit our wealth. It's proven, he says.
Yeah, we're given a leg up to I mean, we all start with a various
family, education, all this kinds of stuff.
Whatever,
on and on and on.
Whatever it might be. Yeah, we don't. We're not. It's not created in a vacuum, but it is an opportunity to be either ignored or leveraged.
That's right. Yeah. And so he says, rich people earn it. They start a business, they invest in real estate, they invent a new product. But here's the key: is they provide value, and that's it. If you can provide value in such a way, your chances of building wealth are just far higher, and you attract luck. And whether that's value to other people in all different forms.
Yeah, it would have to be value to other people in whatever form that is, right?
Provide value.
Rich people are rich because they provide value to other people. Like that's how that works.
That's right. Yeah. The another one is perfect. So getting rich is a habit. Habits are things we do without thinking about them. Rich people's habits are different. Rich people rarely complain, think long-term, have tangible goals, but I would change that to they use proven systems.
Sure.
They know that time is money. That's why they call it time well spent, because you spend your time every single day.
Every time.
Yeah. And he also adds they diet and exercise regularly. I don't know about that, but I exercise, yes. Diet, no, not for me. But
I'm aware of what I eat, but only because I did that thing a couple of years ago to try and solve, again, not a diet or weight problem, but I had this thing that was driving me crazy with those little lumps that I get in my arm.
That's right.
Yep. And so Didn't help the lumps, by the way, but I did as a byproduct of it. It was the byproduct of the failed experiment.
Yes.
Was that I relearned what a portion size is. I relearned how to eat. Yeah. And once I had that knowledge, I had a desire for that knowledge, which again turned out to be failed or flawed. But once I had the knowledge, it was like, oh, this makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, and do I still eat ice cream and drink alcohol? Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah. I just am aware of what those things mean when I put them in my body.
Yeah,
that's
right.
all.
That's right.
That's
I had
it.
a big bowl of ice cream last night. I knew exactly what it was doing to me.
I did same. And I knew it was going to be okay. Yeah.
Fine. This is one I love. I make this comment all the time, and I've actually done the T-shirt hold-up thing on X, is, I always say the right spouse is a force multiplier. And I stole that from Colin Powell. He had a phrase that he said, optimism is a force multiplier. And I totally agree with that.
Yes.
But I've learned that the right spouse is also a force multiplier. Steve says, your significant other will make or break you. I am where I am today because of the person I married. The right spouse will support you in your goals, not stand in your way. So that's it seems so basic, but whoever you wind up with and whoever you are around.
Yeah, it's that pyramid you were talking about a month ago or so.
Yeah.
The people pyramid. Yeah.
You want to be surrounded by people that support you and lift you up, not question you, are jealous of you, don't believe in you, think you're flaky because you're trying 10 different things and you hope one of them sticks. Because especially as a new entrepreneur, when you're just getting started, it's very easy to be around people that doubt you. And that
it's
want to ridicule you.
That's the default.
It's more common. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So that's where I always say, don't talk about what you're going to do. Talk about what you've done, because that helps solve that problem. You got to kind of.
You can get away with that with a lot of people. You can't get away with that with your partner.
No,
right?
With
like
your spouse.
Correct.
It's your life.
This people pyramid thing. I would say it starts with your partner, whoever that is, and if you don't have one, I would say some people might argue that would be a benefit in a sense, because not having one is better than having a partner who is doubting you.
Yeah,
because if you are being doubted at every turn and you can't get away from it because you literally live with the source of that doubt, you're not going to do this.
If they treat you that way,
think
about if you ever have kids with that person, how they're going to treat your kids.
Yeah.
And how that cycle is going to go. Because, not to make this, not about make a show about having kids, but your kids are like a grand experiment, right?
Yes.
They're taking in all this stuff like by osmosis, your actions, the way you and your spouse interact, the way your businesses impact their life. Because like if you're just, quote, thinking that being busy is important and you're home late every night, what do you think they're going to think about being a business? They're going to be like, I don't ever want to do that because my dad or my mom was never home. And so you're teaching people this stuff all the time. And that support from your spouse to be successful in business, to build wealth, to give you that runway to be successful. Because let's face it, there's a lot of failure involved.
You're going to fail.
Success, of course. Yeah,
of course. Yeah,
definitely. So, let me see if there's anything else. He talks about, you don't need to hustle 24/7. Burnout doesn't help you get rich. It makes you less effective.
True.
It's that concept of focusing on outputs more than inputs that we've been talking about lately.
Yep.
Burnout means poor decisions, more fatigue, less motivation, poor sleep. So, proper rest and sleep means you can push harder during the day. What else has he got here?
I've been tracking my sleep with my Apple Watch for the last month or so. And, it's just that which is monitored is managed kind of thing. I'm not obsessing about it, but I'm certainly aware of it because I'm just wearing I wound up getting a new Apple Watch. And so I have an old one and was like, well, let me just use this for sleep.
That's great.
And it's been enlightening and not, again, I don't think about it much, but I find that I am habitually being a little more aware of, well, if I go to sleep now, I know I need to be awake by whatever, 8 a.m., 7, whatever it is the next day. So yeah, and I know that 6 hours of sleep is the right number for me. If I get a little more than 6, I'm good. Yeah. If I get less than 6, 5 hours, probably not, I can function,
sure.
But it's like, I'm going to have a better day if I get my 6 hours. And so just being aware of that has been super helpful.
Yeah. We have a whole show on sleep. It's critical.
That might be worth finding a guest for. Yeah, somebody that's great. If you're great about, if you're into this sleep thing and you know things about it or know someone who is, feedback at I almost said the other show, feedback at BusinessBrain.Show. If I had said the other one, it still would get to me and it would be okay.
Get it. All right, I'm going to leave you with one that I really like as we wrap up here. And this is from Steve on Speed, Steve Millionaire Habits on X/Twitter. He says, passions don't pay the bills. That's a t-shirt right there. Generally, your strengths pay the bills, not your passions. Passions are more creative. Strengths are more marketable. Follow your strengths. What I did it. Oh, yeah. I just lost it.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Where did I get it? I lost it. There you go. Oh, yeah. Follow your strengths, then pursue your passions without worrying about earning a full-time income. And I like this because I've seen so many people ruin a hobby or something they're interested in by trying to turn it into a business, right? The quickest way to destroy your hobby is to try to make money at it.
To make it a job. That's it.
Oh, it's terrible.
I kind of did that. Well, but I picked, I have a lot of hobbies.
Yes.
The nerdy computer thing is one, and then music would be another. Yes. And I make money from both of those. And if you work for the IRS, I can prove to you that both of those are businesses. Yes. However, I put food on my table with the nerdy hobby that I've turned into a business because there is a strength there. I feel like I'm a pretty strong musician too, but if I wanted to make money with music, I would almost certainly have to tour on the road all the time.
Yeah.
Or I would have to live in a major city, New York, LA, London, Nashville. Nashville is hard to make money as a musician. Yeah. Talk to me on our other show about that. It's a great place to play music. You will not make money unless you are at the top of the food chain. I know a guy who played in Nashville forever. He played for 50,000 people and made $50.
What?
Because that's what the club next door that had 50 people in it would have paid him. And the person who was playing for 50,000 people knew it didn't matter who was playing the drums behind him. Yeah. Anyway, that's my Nashville thing. And that's a common thing in Nashville. But certainly you can make money. But I chose to do this because it means I travel slightly less.
That makes sense. So what are your habits for building wealth, for success? Call them millionaire habits or whatever, what have you. But we'd love to hear from you. Feedback at BusinessBrain.Show. I think we're about to roll out maybe a new contest for
I think so.
Emails that come in if we feature them on the show. So reach out and let us know what you think so you can share. We could build our stronger business brains together.
Feedback at BusinessBrain.Show. Check out our sponsors, GoSquaredAway.com and Shopify.com/BusinessBrain, and keep on living that charmed life. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.